Thank you for joining me once again, gentle folks. Thank you for joining me for another video for your English Premier League betting tips and predictions. I hope you had a wonderful game week last week. As you see, we have 2 more games to go. These games are from previous game weeks. I would have already given you the predictions for these 2 games. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United and Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspurs. I've already given you those predictions already. But for this year game week, we actually start on Saturday. We'll move from Saturday through to Monday. Yeah, so Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 3 days. Yeah, but as you see, we have games Wednesday and Thursday. But I'm just going to come straight into it, and I'm going to start here on Saturday because I've said to you just now, I've already given you those predictions for the game on Wednesday and Thursday. So on Saturday, we'll have we're going to start with Liverpool versus Chelsea. This should be a very interesting matchup. Very interesting one. Liverpool struggling a whole lot, and Chelsea likewise hit with injuries, but they have made two good signings, and so let's see what happens. Yeah, John Felix won't be available until in February. I think what's his name again, Modric or something of the sort, the Ukrainian. Not certain he will be available this weekend, but he might be. Yeah, but it should be an interesting matchup, and for this matchup here, I am expecting both teams to go at it, but it's anybody's game based on how both teams are playing. It's anybody's game, to be honest with you. For this one, I'm going to take a draw here, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Taking a draw, I'm going to say yes, both teams to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going to take a 1-1 draw here. In terms of my anytime goal scorers, I'm going to go with Darwin Núñez was out injured, so I'm not going to consider him. Not certain if he'll be coming back for the game here on Saturday. But we have Mohamed Salah, we have Gakpo. It doesn't look like himself. I'm not certain. I'd go with him for anytime goal scorer, but Salah, as well as Elliott could pop up and give you a goal as well. If Darwin plays, he could give you a goal too. Yeah, Gakpo can score. He knows where the goal is, but it just doesn't look like he's fitting in very well at the moment at Liverpool. As for Chelsea, as related to anytime goal scorers, you have Kai Havertz. You have here's the guy I'm talking about, Mykhailo Mudryk. If he plays, I think he's mostly a provider, but he could score too. You never know. Mason Mount always have a goal in him. Ziyech is more of a provider too. And Jorginho. Yeah, you have to look over those guys who could score for you at a possible moment in this game. But for me, I'm gonna go with my anytime goal scorer to be Mohamed Salah. He's usually very reliable, and based on how Chelsea is playing, there's a strong possibility that he could score in that game. Yeah. So recapping predictions for Liverpool versus Chelsea. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. I'm expecting both teams to score. My predicted scoreline is 1-1. My anytime goal scorer will be Mohamed Salah. Yeah. So we're gonna move on from this game, and we're going to move on to Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. And for Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, now this is another interesting one. I'm surprised Bournemouth have not opted to change their coach. I'm also surprised that Nottingham Forest did not take the opportunity to change their course last season. Rather, last year. Rather than changing their course, they decided to give him a new contract. But let's see how that goes. I don't think they're going to stay up though. Predictions for Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. I'm expecting Bournemouth to handle business here, but I'm not going to put Nottingham Forest aside. They could come and challenge them, so Bournemouth to win for me, and both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying here, Bournemouth wins this 1-3-1. In terms of anytime goal scorer, you have the usual suspects. Kiefer Moore, he got a start in the last game. I can't help for him. Philip Bellin has the potential to. Dominic Solanke, if he plays, he can score for you, as well as Jaden Anthony, he could score as well. And also Lerma is usually most of a provider, but he can pop up and score for you as well too. On the side of the Forest of the football, you have Brennan Johnson, scored 2 in the last game, and he can score for you as well as Ewo Wanyani, he could score for you as well as Emmanuel Dennis, he could score as well. When I'm on the time, I guess Gibbs White as well. You have to look out for that guy too. He could score as well. But for me, my anytime goal scorer is going to come from the Bournemouth side of the football. I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be Philip Bellin. I'm going to go with Philip Billing to score here. Alright, so recapping predictions for Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. I'm taking Bournemouth to win this one at $2.60. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-1 in favor of Bournemouth, I do believe. And in my in-time goal score, I'm going to go with Philip Billing to be my in-time goal scorer for this game here, alright? So moving right along into the next game, and the next game will be Leicester City versus Brighton, Albion, and Hove. Yes, and for this game, I'm expecting this one to be a humdinger. This is anybody's game based on how Brighton have been playing of late. It's very hard to see them not winning this one. But I don't know, Leicester City, they have to fight. Brendan Johnson, he knows that he have to fight to keep his job. So I don't know, he'll be trying to G up his squad to get them going so that they can beat Brighton. And but let's see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup, I believe. Tough matchup, and this is anybody's game. This is anybody's game, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Leicester City to do. For me, I'm going to take this one to be a draw, yeah. And I'm expecting both teams to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying this one should be 2-2. In terms of anytime goal score, I'm going to go here. You have to consider Harvey Barnes as well as Jamie Vardy if he starts. Patson Daka as well. Tillemans, and Ian Archer as well. You have to consider those guys. And also Dennis Pratt, depending on the amount of time he gets, he can score for you as well. On the Brighton side of the football, you have young Ferguson. He's been doing very well. Can't count him out, as well as Danny Welbeck came on and scored a goal the other day. And also McAllister, he's on cloud 9 and he's still up there, so you can't count him out either. As well as Mitomo, usually a provider. He's doing very well so far. Pascal Gross as well. So all of those guys. Solly Marsh, out of nowhere, he came home and scored 2 goals in the last game. But for me, my end-time goal scorer in this game, I'm going to take my end-time goal scorer to be young Ferguson. I'm going to go with young Evan Ferguson for my end-time goal scorer in this game. So recapping predictions, Leicester City versus Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. Expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying it should be a 2-2 draw. And for my anytime goal scorer, I'm going with young Evan Ferguson. Alright, so moving on to our next game, and our next game here will be Southampton United versus Aston Villa United. And for this game now, Southampton in a dogfight to steer to the to get out of the relegation zone and steer to the relegation zone. It's going to be very interesting. I think we're going to be having one of the long stays here in the Premiership going down this season, unfortunately. But let's see how it goes. Southampton versus Aston Villa. Let's see if Aston Villa can carry that form from home onto the road, and let's see how things go for them. But for me, for this game, I'm going to go here and I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this one to end in a draw. It's going to be a tough fight though. Both teams will be scoring, I believe. Yes, I have both teams scoring, both teams to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying this one should end in a 2-2 draw as well. Anytime goal scorers, you have to look through the list here. You have Shea Adams, you have James Ward-Prowse, you have Tiku Marda, and also you have Adam Armstrong. You can't count him out, so he could come and score for you as well. And also in terms of Aston Villa, you have Danny Iggs, you have Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins might not play, he limped off the last game, as well as Leon Bailey. You have Buendia, and you have Ramsey, who is a very good attacking player but has not done much on the attacking front of late. So it's going to be interesting. But for me, my end-time goal scorer, I'm going to go with Danny Iggs here, former Southampton player. Left Southampton in good form, and yeah, he hit form and he wanted to leave, and so they sold him, yeah. But it's going to be interesting him going back there, so let's see. Alright, for me, let's recap the predictions here now. Southampton versus Aston Villa. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. I'm expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a scoreline, I'm saying 2-2. And in terms of my anytime goal scorer, I'm going to say here Danny Iggs to be my anytime goal scorer, yeah. And for so that's how the cookie crumbles for Southampton versus Aston Villa. And our next game will be West Ham United versus Everton. And for West Ham United versus Everton, now Everton going through a little bit of turmoil. The players shouldn't be fazed by it, but Lampard is in a very tight spot, as well as David Moyes. And so both of these guys, they'll be looking for the victory, and they'll be hoping that they can secure the victory. Yeah. Everton before the World Cup was one of the best. They had, I think they were in the top 3 in terms of defense for the league. Yeah, they conceded the least amount of goals. They were in the top 3, but of late they have fallen off, and so therefore, yeah, things have gotten a little bit rough for them. Yeah, but for this game, Everton versus West Ham United, this one is anybody's game, I do believe, and so therefore, it's going to be an interesting matchup, and so I'm going to give Everton the edge here, because they should come out fighting, and I'm going to give them the edge. Saying here is both teams should score, and so in terms of a double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying here Everton wins this 1-2-1. In terms of my anytime goal score, now I'm going to go with the West Ham side of the football. You have Stamaka, you can't count him out as well as Antonio. Haven't been in good form in terms of scoring. Saeed Benrahma as well. Gerard Bowen has goals in him, but you have yet to see any from him. So Lucas Paqueta is now more on the front line, so he could score as well. Thomas Suchak, the guy that I always say has a goal in him, you can't count him out, so you can consider him as well. In terms of Everton, you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and you have into the garden, depends on the amount of time he gets, he could score for you as well. Demarai Gray, Dwight McNeil, Alexi Wobi could score for you too, and if Tom Davies gets some time, he could score as well. But for me, my anytime goal scorer in this game, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and for this one now, so you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin here. Alright, so we're going to move on over to recapping the West Ham versus Everton United game, and for this game now, I'm expecting Everton to win at $4.33. Expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying here Everton should win this 1-2-1. And in terms of anytime goal scorer, I'm going to go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin to be my anytime goal scorer here. Alright, so those are my predictions for Everton United versus West Ham United. And now we're going to move on to the next game, which is Crystal Palace United versus Newcastle United. No, this one should be another good matchup. Newcastle in really good form, hunting down the guys at the top, and so I think they'll be trying to get a win here to keep the guys at the top honest, so that I know that they can't afford to lose in a game. I guess if they lose, then they're going to lose their position at the top to them. Yeah, but for this game, Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United, I'm expecting a very good one again, so I'm going to say Newcastle to win here, and both teams not to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm saying hey, Newcastle wins this 1-2-1. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I predicted anytime goal score, I should say. For the Crystal Palace side of the football, you have Wilfried Zaha as well as Mateta, and also you have Eze as well as Jordan Ayew and Alicia as well. He could score a goal for you too, as well as Schlupp all tend to have goals in him, but he could score for you too. In terms of Newcastle United, they have Isak, depends on the amount of time he gets. He came on the last game and scored. And also Callum Wilson falling off a bit of later. Miguel Almiron as well as Chris Wood, and Alan St. Maximum is more of a provider, but it depends on the amount of time he gets in the ball. Yeah. And also Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Guimaraes. My humblest apologies. Both of them speak Portuguese, but one from Brazil, one from Portugal. Alright, so my anytime goal scorer in this game, I'm going to go with my anytime goal scorer in this game to be Wilson. He's overdue a goal, and I think he'll get that goal in this game. Yeah. So recapping predictions for Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United, I'm expecting Newcastle United to win. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-0 in favor of Newcastle United. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both not to score. Predicted anytime goal scorer for me is Callum Wilson. at $2.40. Yeah. So that's how the cookie crumbles for Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United, and now we're going to move on over to Leeds United versus Brentford, and Leeds really need a win here to stay away from the relegation zone, and so therefore I'm expecting them to go on the hunt here this coming Sunday. Yeah, so for Leeds versus Brentford United, this one should be an interesting matchup. Brentford is a very strange team in a sense. They are not easy to beat, so you have to be very careful how you approach them because they might end up beating you quite convincingly. Yeah. Right then, so Leeds versus Brentford for this game now, I'm expecting both teams to score for sure. And in terms of a winner here, I'm going to give Leeds a winner. I'm giving Leeds the win here because of their fighting spirit and the fact that they have been in the games that they have played, but they just haven't managed to finish. And I think them being at home here and the crowd being behind them, then they should be able to finish this time around. Alright, so also in terms of a double chance, I go with either to win and both to score. Yeah. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying hey, Leeds wins this 1-1 by the out goal in 3. Yeah. Anytime goal scorers, for Leeds you have Rodrigo, you have Bamford, you have Janels, as well as this guy Wilfried Ganato, the young Italian. He's coming on and he's working. Yeah. Brennan Johnson also, you have to look out for him. In terms of Brentford, you have Ivan Toney, you have Wissa, the super sub, you have Mbumo, as well as Da Silva, and Ben Mee in defense can score for you too, as well as any other one of the defenders. They have that height, and with those set plays, they are very, very, very destructive. Yeah. But for me, my anytime goal scorer here, I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer to be Rodrigo Moreno. Yes, he seems to be the one with the hot boots. Yes, for Leeds United. So recapping predictions for Leeds United versus Brentford United, I'm expecting both teams to score. I'm expecting Leeds to win at $2.30. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Leeds, I do believe. In terms of my anytime goal scorer in this game, I'm going with Rodrigo Moreno from Leeds and $2.15. Yeah. Alright, so those are my predictions for Leeds United versus Brentford, and now we're going to jump on over to Manchester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. And for Manchester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, I'm expecting Manchester City to win here. Both teams not to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going to go with Manchester City winning this 1-2-0. In terms of an anytime goal scorer, you have the usual suspects. You have Erwin Haaland, you have Julian Alvarez if he gets enough time on the field. Phil Foden, I don't know if he'll get enough time. Pep has a funny system, a funny way of playing his players. Riyad Mahrez as well as Jack Grealish, usually a provider, don't score much, so I wouldn't consider him. Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. Yeah, I can look for those guys as well. In terms of Wolverhampton Wanderers, I go with Hichan, I go with Raul Jimenez, and also Ruben Neves. Those guys are the guys that I look out to score a goal for me in terms of Wolverhampton Wanderers. But I'm going to take my anytime goal scorer from Manchester City, and my anytime goal scorer here, I'm going to take Kevin De Bruyne. He's overdue a goal, so I'm expecting him to score here. Yeah. So, recapping predictions for Manchester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, I'm going with Manchester City to win. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying no, both teams should not score. In terms of a predicted scoreline, I'm saying Manchester City win this 1-2-0. In terms of anytime goal scorer, I'm going to go with Kevin De Bruyne to $2.90. And that's how the cookie crumbles for this game. Now we're going to move on to the next one, folks. Hope you're taking your notes, and remember to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell whenever you do so, and also spread the word about the channel. Yeah. Alright, then the high-flying Arsenal now facing Manchester United in the return leg. One of two teams to have beaten them this season. I don't quite remember the other team that beat Arsenal this season, but Arsenal lost 2 games, and one was against Manchester United, and the other was against I don't remember who it was against. Yeah, but anyways, they lost against Manchester United in the first game of the season. The first, as you know, both teams play each other twice, so the first game they lost it. Yeah. I think it was at Old Trafford. So now this one is at Emirates, and so let's see. This one is even more crucial than that one, previous one. Yeah. So Arsenal in good form, Manchester United chipping away. Arsenal have to be very careful of Manchester United, and so therefore it's going to be an interesting matchup. Yeah. And so for these two teams, Arsenal versus Manchester United, I'm expecting a keen battle here. And for this one, I'm going to see Arsenal, they're going to come out, and but I think this one is going to end in a draw. I think Ten Hag, I'm saying he's going to park the bus, but it's going to end in a draw. I do believe both teams to score, I think, and both teams to score. In terms of score line, I'm saying this one should end 1-1. Otherwise, I think it's going to end 2-2. In terms of anytime goal scorers, the usual suspects, you have Odegaard, you have Eddie Nketiah, you have Gabriel Martinelli, as well as Sak, and also you have Jack and Partey, who could pop up and score for you as well. Also, in terms of Manchester United, you have Marcus Rashford in really good form. Anthony Martial might not play, but you can look out for him as well as Anthony is usually a provider. Garnacho might get some chances, but I'm not sure he'll put it away. Bruno Fernandes, also have to look out for that guy as well. And Fred, depends on the amount of time he gets, he could pop up and score for you as well. Alright, so but for me, my end-time goal scorer in this game, I'm going to take my end-time goal scorer from Arsenal. I'm going to take Eddie Nketiah. And so Eddie Nketiah to score for me here at any point in this game. And so recapping predictions for Arsenal versus Manchester United, key matchup, and as it relates to the Premier League title and top 4 in the Premiership, I'm taking here this one to end in a draw at $3.50, and then taking both teams to score as well. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying we should have a 1-1 draw here. And in terms of my anytime goal scorer, I'm going to go with Eddie Nketiah. Alright, so that's how the cookie crumbles for Arsenal versus Manchester United. And now we're going to move on to the final game for this year game week, and this is Tottenham Hotspurs versus Fulham United. And for this game, Hotspurs playing away from home. They have been awful. I'm not going to say all season, but they have been awful. They have been I don't know what's the right term. It seems if Conte isn't getting everything out of them. Yeah, but they have a really good squad, and so therefore let's see how this one goes. Yeah. For this game, I'm going to take Fulham to win here, and I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me for this one, I'm saying Fulham to win this one 2-1. Otherwise, I might win it 3-1. I do believe. In terms of anytime goal scorers, usual suspects, Alejandro Mitrovic and also Bobby Reed. I have to look out for William as well, and Paulina, and they have Andreas Pereira. Look out for those guys. They could come up and score for you. For Tottenham Hotspurs, you have Harry Kane. I think he's maybe about 10 goals in 12 matches now, something like that, but he's basically scoring a goal per match. And as well as Son Heung-min, and also Richarlison came back, so he might start the next game. Kulusevski is usually more of a provider, and so he might not start the next game either. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, he has the knack of scoring goals of late, so can look out for him as well. Alright, and so therefore, for me, my anytime goal scorer in this game now, I'm going to go with anytime goal scorer to be Alexander Mitrovic, and taking Mitrovic here. Alright, so recapping predictions for Fulham versus Tottenham Hotspurs, and expecting Fulham to win here at $3.10. Expecting both teams to score as well. In terms of a double chance, I'll go with either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Tottenham Hotspur, of Fulham United. My humblest apologies, folks. And my anytime goal scorer to be Alexander Mitrovic. Yeah, so Fulham to win, scoreline 2-1, and both teams to score. Anytime goal scorer Alexander Mitrovic for this game here, Fulham United versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Yes, folks, so that's how the cookie crumbles for this year game week of your English Premier League betting tips and predictions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and ensure you took your notes, and thank you for joining me once again, and have a great weekend. Happy betting, and thank you.